Do you find yourself watching more Counter-Strike clips, watching matches, or even entire tournaments in the glorious game we call Counter-Strike, but you don't know who to root for? No worry, because I got you covered with the beginning guide of being a fan in Counter-Strike. In this video we're gonna go through 40 plus teams where I'm gonna explain what and who to root for. These 40 different teams will range from tier 1 to all the way down to tier 3 because I believe that these tier 3 teams also deserve your support. Watch till the end of the video and you're destined to find your team that you can root for to make every game just that little bit more exciting. So let's get into it. Team Vitality. It's a bit lame to support this team right now because you seem like a glory supporter because this team is by far and away the best team in the world right now. But to be fair, they have an incredible team and frankly a great organization. The only problem is the French. But if you are French, then there's more reason to like them. The team they have right now is absolutely amazing with ZywOo, a 3-time Player of the Year winner, Robs, who I think is the perfect player. You got MOUZ, the greatest British player of all time. They have amazing players, but I think that's also due to the management because the management just makes solid decisions. They don't make mistakes that often besides Kyojin and Misuta, but for the most part, this team is great. Furia. The loudest and most passionate fan base out there.
So wounded, fallen, finishes what he started. Coming into this final with a score to settle.
When you root for Furia, you know you're not gonna be alone. Problem is, it would help if you speak Portuguese. Furia has been the best team in Brazil since 2019 and its organization is as loyal to its players as its fans are to its players and coaches. They have players on their roster that will stay with the org till the end of time in the form of Yuri and Queserado. Furia is a fitting name for the organization for it means Fury or Rage, which is fitting for the Brazilian fanbase. Because if the team does well, they get fired up, and if the team doesn't do well, they get angry, and if you say something bad about them, you will feel the fury. So if you have the fury inside of you, this is a team to root for. Team Falcons. It's a bit hard to root for Team Falcons in my opinion because they are being funded by the Saudi Arabian Investment Fund, the PIF. And because Saudi Arabia has some questionable stances on the LGBTQ rights and freedom of speech, it feels a bit wrong to root for them. But if you really like the color green, I say go for it. And the nice thing is that you will probably get in on the ground floor of being a Team Falcons fan because they have no fans and you will probably get financially backed for rooting for them. That's nice. Natus Vincere. A powerhouse from the CIS region for over 15 years now. Their name literally means born to win, which is awesome. The logo is unique and solid too. They're a good organization and one of the best in all of esports. For the majority of their existence, their lineups consisted of Russians and Ukrainians, but because of recent tensions, they have opted to go international because at the end of the day, they are born to win. They have had some of the greatest players of all time play for them in the form of IGLs, AWPers, Star Riflers, Star AWPers, whatever, anything. But what puts this organization aside is that they have a coach that will go down as one of the greatest and iconic coaches of all time, Blade. Blade is a strong, intelligent coach with a very clear philosophy of how to play the game and is therefore definitely a team you can root for years to come with a coach that will be there for a long time. Spirit. A Russian, now Serbian organization that just like Team Vitality was formed in the late 2010s but are already challenging the greatest esports organizations in the world. Team Spirit together with Natus Vincere are the only team in history that have won a Dota International and a Counter-Strike Major. This team strives for excellence and to be the best, and this time right now is the best time to jump in because they have the greatest player of all time on their roster right now in the form of Donk, and he will be there for years. Donk is a generational talent, and I'm not saying like, oh, the new generation of rookies. No, I'm literally saying a generation, 25 years. This kid is donkers. They are not afraid to make cutthroat decisions of cutting players to become better even when they win big tournaments. And they have a coach in the form of Halley that is making a respectable run at being the best coach in the CIS region against the likes of Blade. Definitely an organization that will be here and will compete at the very top for years to come. MOUZ. one of the oldest organizations in all of esports. A German organization based in Hamburg, consistency to compete at the top stems from making rational and smart decisions, building teams from the ground up, nurturing young talents for a decade now and having them succeed, and having loyalty over making big blockbuster moves for star players. They do everything right, in my opinion. They used to be a moneyball organization with them not making the biggest of moves, but in return they got financial stability, which made them a pinnacle of Counter-Strike for over 20 years. Maybe the management could be a bit weak if we have to believe banks.
While this was bad performance from MOUZ, I don't think they're going to be a true title contender or a trophy contender, not because of the players, but because you've got this soft-ass management. If your organization is this soft, like, that is pathetic. Like, how are you supposed to raise champions? How are you supposed to grow people as players?
But they don't seem like an organization with any skeletons in their closet. MOUZ are always a good team. Maybe not the best, but they're always a shoo-in for the top 15 in the world, and also dangerous in every tournament they enter. If you like good GMing and want your team to field solid rosters all the time, then MOUZ is a great team to root for, because MOUZ compete to succeed. FaZe Clan. A legendary organization in all of gaming, and they are blessed with what we call FaZe magic. They made history of being the first international team to win a major, and pioneers of the international team and the supposed super team strategy. Rooting for FaZe Clan is exciting because you never know what you're gonna get. Are they gonna win a tournament, or are they gonna come in last place? Are they gonna sign a legendary player like MongolZ, Guardian, Olafmeister or Nico, or are they gonna sign BIMS, Jacob or Neo as a player? And now is a perfect time to jump in of becoming a FaZe Clan fan, because Kerrigan is in his last few years, and after that they will make a dramatic shift in strategy, and it's an exciting time where FaZe will go next. So FaZe up, and let's go from elation to absolute despair, from match to round to tournament to whatever, rooting for FaZe Clan. The Mongols. If you are from Mongolia and you haven't heard of this team, I'm gonna blow your mind. The Mongols are not only the best team in Mongolia, they are also the greatest Asian team in the history of Counter-Strike. They are so good that they are even declared the national team of Mongolia. Not even Prime Astralis got that done, and you know that they wanted to become the national team of Mongolia. Much of their success is credited to Mara, a veteran of the Mongolian CS scene. But now, with Chess Master Blitz, the IGL, the powerhouse that is Mongolian Counter-Strike is finally unlocked. The slogan itself is awesome, being "a man can be destroyed, but not defeated." The Mongols are the champions of the new dawn, which is the rise of Asian Counter-Strike, and I'm here for it. Aurora. Are you an edgy 16-year-old? Because then this is the org for you. They like Counter-Strike, gambling, and I mean, what's there not to like? The Serbian organization is quite new to esports, but because of their main sponsor 1xBet, they have the financial backing to challenge the bigger teams. Aurora, being a mainstay at the top echelons of Counter-Strike, is not for certain, but they are the most accomplished Turkish team ever, so if you're Turkish, this is definitely a very fun, passionate and exciting team to root for. Bait. Like many big organizations in this list, this team also had a history in Dota 2, with its founder, Dandy, starting the Ukrainian organization in 2020, and is still playing on the Dota 2 lineup till this day. But in the meantime, they have signed a Ukrainian CS2 team that is actually achieving more success than the Dota 2 division, and they are actually close to being a tier 1 contender. This is a fun, plucky underdog organization with veterans from the Ukrainian scene that I see can become a real established big org in the future. Legacy. Legacy is a Brazilian org that is relatively new to esports, but has their roots from another esports org in the form of OO Nation that split in half, and of which much of the management started this org, which would later be known as Legacy. Though the organization doesn't have much history, its owner and CEO does, in the form of Dead, who is an accomplished veteran coach from the Brazilian scene that coached the likes of Fallen, coldzera, FNX, Taco in the legendary SK and Luminosity lineups that won the majors for their home country. They are a young organization that are still gathering their fanbase, so I think you're more than welcome. But one thing is for certain, because they're Brazilian, you will surely not be alone cheering for them in the stadiums. G2 Esports. The most entertaining esports organization in the world. Their words, not mine. But they have a point. They are an elite organization that will surely be a mainstay at the top echelons of Counter-Strike. They haven't won any of the biggest trophies out there like the International, Worlds or a Counter-Strike Major. They have won the biggest title in Rainbow Six Siege and in League of Legends in the form of MSI, which is apparently quite a big deal. They have an outside chance of winning the biggest titles and have a lot of ups and downs. Therefore, there's a lot to root for organization, and that's what we like, don't we? Team Liquid. One of the oldest organizations in esports, created in the year 2000 in the Netherlands. Where my Dutch is at! And has become one of the greatest organizations in North America, if not the world. You could argue that they are the greatest esports org in the world, for they are considered elite in every esports they enter, and have won the biggest titles in esports like the International twice. They're still on their quest for the coveted major trophy, so there's still a lot to root for and hope for and aim for this fan base. So if you start being a Team Liquid fan now, reaching that goal one day could be your esports core memory. 3D Mags. A French organization that had their focus on Counter-Strike since 2010. Yes, I know, the French, but if you're French, it's great. They are also completely French, which you just have to respect because the national teams are sadly a dying breed. And nationalism just makes me excited. Is that the word? Yes, there are organizations that are bigger and more successful than you, but they don't represent you. You, the French, your country, the pride. Vive la France! See. Cool name, cool logo. Next. And who cares that people make fun of 3D Max, that it stands for 3 days max, because that's the average time they actually are in a tournament because they lose in group stages. No one cares. Astralis. Alright, calm down, Bert. Calm down. I wasn't the biggest fan of Astralis because of many reasons. But they have since then cleaned up their act, and the roster that used to kick all of my favorite teams' asses is no more, so very good. And they've actually gotten rid of those bad apples in the managerial roles that were actually ruining set players, and they were ruining the Danish Counter-Strike ecosystem. If you want to learn more about the old Astralis, check out this video or check out this video. I made 2 videos. I make a lot of videos. Subscribe. The organization is starting from scratch, also with an international lineup, so this is a great time to step in and become a fan of Astralis because they are gonna try and develop a new identity while also rectifying the old mistakes the old Astralis made. Parivision. Don't root for esports bookies, guys. Don't do it. Why? Why? That's weird, right? It's weird. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, they have a guy on their roster named James, and he looks like Jesus, and he tends to save in T-spawn for 60% of every game. So, it's kind of fun. FUT. I thought FUT was named after FUT, as in FIFA Ultimate Team, and I thought that they were big in that esports and therefore just named themselves after their main game. Apparently it isn't so. No, they're not. I'm probably the only one. They were a Turkish sports news app named Futbolist, but in 2016 they went all in on esports, starting with FIFA. But since then they have a lot of different rosters in a lot of different games. Their CS2 division is brand new with some brand new young talents that are very much punching above their weights. It's a very exciting team, and I think it's the next team that's gonna break through to tier 2, if not tier 1. This organization is already proving the doubters wrong, like how I thought it was actually short for FIFA Ultimate Team. I think this is an exciting underdog organization in Counter-Strike 2 right now, but because of the backing behind them, I think this organization could be big in the near future. Heroic. A now Norwegian organization that were fielding Danish rosters since 2016, and since the last 2 years have been fielding international rosters. Heroic seems like a rational org, one with a good head on its shoulders. It's just very fitting, the helmet and stuff. They make intelligent moves and they know how to get the most out of their players, by performances or by selling them. Are they the best? No. Could they be? Maybe. But that's the exciting part. Whoever is playing on Heroic is hungry and wants to prove themselves. And it's always exciting if they're gonna overperform and perform above expectations, or if they're gonna pick up a new prospect no one dared to sign yet. They have had great players that would represent them and would excel in their jerseys, like Nerds, Dexter, Cadian, Taneer, like the list goes on. Maybe you too will excel when you wear that jersey. I am not sponsored by them. Ninjas in Pyjamas. The Manchester United of Counter-Strike. This team has featured all the legends and has one of the oldest histories in Counter-Strike, if not esports as a whole. Spawn, Waller, Putty, Heaton, Forrest, Getright, Plopsky, they've had them all. They made a questionable change in changing the brown logo to the neon green one, but I do have to say, that jersey looks mighty slick. But something that will never change is NIP not being in Counter-Strike. And what more do you want? Go Ninjas. Pain Gaming. One of the older Brazilian organizations that has featured some of the biggest legends from the scene like Kogu, FNX and Felipe One, that is now the owner of Imperial, but is also fielding future legends in the form of Big Vincere, who has been loyal to the club for over 7 years now, or the player that Pain is very loyal to in the form of Snow, who is one of the biggest prospects coming from the scene right now. And if you already know how passionate the Brazilian fanbase is, then this slogan rings even truer.
Ninguém torce como a gente.
Ninguém torce como a gente. I thought that would be hard T's and stuff. I would pronounce it as Ninguém torce como a gente. See, or no one cheers like we do. It's pretty good. Passion UA. You want to root for a Ukrainian organization, but you don't want to root for a Ukrainian team? That's a very weird request. But I got you covered. All jokes aside, the owners are definitely Ukrainian, with one of them even being a football player named Alexander Zinchenko. But who cares about that? We're here for Counter-Strike, alright? I consider Passion UA to still be in their grassroots era, but they already exceeded their expectations far and wide by qualifying to majors and being a stable top 20 team. The sky is the limit. NRG. North American, 10 years representation in the esports scene. Shaquille O'Neal. This organization has it all. NRG is back in Counter-Strike since 2018 and have actually picked up the player that has brought them that success back then in the form of their coach, Debs. It's always fun rooting for NA teams because it always feels like, you know, kids playing football against their parents. You really want them to do well because it could be very cool, but we all know it's not gonna happen. Or is it? But if it does, which it did, it could be very exciting. M80. M80 is a very young up-and-coming org that is seemingly doing very well already. They focus on the North American scene, with them sporting Americans across their 5 different esports. They're already having small successes in Counter-Strike and in Valorant, and big successes in Rainbow Six Siege. I like M80. I like their fresh colors, I like what they're doing, and I like that they, you know, give North America a little bit of help, because I think we all know they need it. The fuse is lit, and it won't be extinguished anytime soon, because M80 are here to stay. GamerLegion. The German organization was formed in 2017 and joined Counter-Strike in 2019. For the last few years, you can expect GamerLegion to be there at all the tier 1 events and actually compete with the best. They are a fun org that make good decisions and have a good sense of the space, and have the ability to pick up players and make them perform way above expectations when they play underneath their banner. And they are definitely here for the long haul. I've always felt the name is a little bit cringe, but at the same time, wouldn't you like to join the Legion of Gamers? Huh? Imperial Esports. Oftentimes the second best Brazilian team. This organization has more history than you think, and also more ex-Brazilian players that are still in the management today. With different Brazilians stretching from players, coaches and analysts, whatever, they got them. And this slogan from their website captured it well, with them saying, "For gamers, by gamers." I can see that this is your favorite team if you're Brazilian, because they are Brazilian from top to bottom. Huh? Oh. Oh. They're now called Gamdom Imperial, and their logo has been changed to the Gamdom Casino website logo. Shame. BetBoom. BetBoom is a Russian based in the United Arab Emirates ex-betting bookie, ex-bookie, because they're now bought by the UAE. BetBoom, boom, boom! Quite sure that's their slogan. HOTU. HOTU is a Russian-based organization, but not just Russian, they are from the Sakha Republic, which is in the far east of Russia. And I don't know what that looks like, I just think about bears and a lot of snow. And even though I'm 100% correct about that, there's apparently more. And by the way, why is the most western part of Russia called Central Russia? What are they planning? And the organization has a fun slogan with "Win the game, improve the sport." And they also have two major winners on their roster in the form of Norbert and their coach Mo. It's quite exciting. Gentle mates. An up-and-coming French esports organization with French influencers like Squeezy, Gotaga and Brox. And if these names say anything to you, then this is a great organization to root for. Okay, the logo is kind of cool. Though, I think the name Gentle Mates sounds a lot like an all-men's bathhouse. That's just me. They got a unique style, they're not scared to stand out from the rest, and they're not scared to make big moves, like they did when they picked up a COD League team for a reported $25 million, meaning they have some financial support to be competitive. It's an exciting time to root for the mates, because they take their brand and their esports serious. So definitely an interesting team to root for, even though they're French. Fnatic. Fnatic are an absolute mainstay in Counter-Strike, with them having won the first CSGO major and 3 in total, and the first League of Legends Worlds Championship. They are a deceivingly small organization in comparison with teams that are still around from that time. This team hasn't been a top 10 team for a while now, but this team has a legacy, this team has history, this is a comeback story that goes over decades. Isn't that exciting? And they're orange. That's good. Orange, good color. Eyeballers. A Swedish organization that was founded in 1998 and competed till 2008 in Counter-Strike 1.6 and Quake. 14 years later, the legendary Swedish duo that won 3 Counter-Strike majors, Flusha and JW, bought the rights to the name, and the latter is still playing on their roster today. If you like JW, and how could you not, or the Fnatic core from 2013 to 2015, or like national teams, how can you not like this team? They do everything on a budget, but because JW has a keen eye for talent in the Swedish scene, this team is able to compete at the top of tier 2. 100 Thieves. You got a legendary NA player, IGL coach, analyst as your head of FPS, a British manager and VRS expert in the form of Messioso, and the 4-time major winner Glaive as your coach. And that's only your management. They have started a new project with old legends like Rain and Device, but have also picked up some of the hottest prospects from Scandinavia. And if you like sick drip, they got that too. So if you're from any of these countries, this is a great team to root for. Or you're an Astralis fan from yesteryear and you're curious if it was actually Sonic that brought this team all success back in the day, or maybe it was Glaive and Device that brought them all these majors. It's an exciting experiment, and this is a great lineup, and this is also how I think a management should look like. So I'm a fan of it all. Flyquest. The best team in the whole of Oceania. Not that it says much, or anything at all. But what is interesting about Flyquest, or the team that is then the best team in Australia, it's fun to root for them. Hell of a lot of fun. For some reason it's very hard to tell how good they really are. But when they do well, things get exciting and you can really feel a shift.
What's it like being part of the best crowd in esports? If you're not here, you're not living. Let's go the boys!
You see it in the forums, you see it on the Reddit post, you see it on Twitter, you see it in the Twitch chat, you feel it in the arena. Things get exciting when the boys do well. Yeah, the boys. Ecstatic. Ecstatic is a Danish esports organization that used to go by Lyngby Vikings, which is a Danish professional football club in Lyngby. I understand their logo looks like an abstract poop stain and the color isn't helping, but they got a player on their roster named Nut. So there's that. And a co-owner of the organization is Zippel, a CS skin trader. So there's that. They do tend to make good pickups for an organization with a very, very low budget, especially in comparison to other teams, but they still float around the top 30. So if you like any of that, or you're a subscriber that is living in Lyngby, Hello, this is your team, Fluxo. If you don't want to support the first, the second, or the third best team in Brazil, Fluxo got you covered. They at least have Art, who's the IGL and is becoming a veteran of the Brazilian scene. Oh, he's kicked. He's kicked. Honestly, I have no idea why you would root for this team. Next. Big Clan. Berlin International Gaming. The pride of German esports. Well, pride. No, that's not fair. You should be proud of Big if you're German. Big has been having successes like making the major playoffs and the final of IEM Cologne. And all that almost exclusively having German players. And if that is not impressive, I don't know what is. So if you live in Berlin or you are German, then this is the team for you. Go big or go home. That's not their slogan. Can you believe it? That's good. If I don't, just take it. Oh. Boop. ENCE. ENCE. Which is short for Enceladus, a giant in Greek mythology. Which is sick. ENCE is the biggest esports organization in Finland, representing their country with a lot of pride. Having all the Finnish legends play for them or still being part of the team today. With, for example, Lurper still owning a part of ENCE and Natus and Angel Dust still being part of the day-to-day operations. And the logo itself is also really sick, even though I don't know what I'm looking at, but that's part of the fun. ENCE is in a bit of a transitional period right now, trying to figure out how to compete with Tier 1 and Tier 2 with an international lineup. They have had success in the past and are trying to find the right players and the right coach to get back to that success from an international lineup, but also the classic all-Finnish lineup. It might take some time, but it will eventually be easy for ENCE. Lynn Vision. They got a bear as a logo. I know they're not the biggest organization in China, but they do have a bear as a logo. So there's that. They do have some great players, to be fair, like Starry, who could definitely be in the best Chinese team. But he and Lynn Vision are very loyal to each other, and that's probably for a very good reason. And the slogan is also pretty cool, with it being, "We will be back from the abyss." So even when you think this team is dead, they can come back from the abyss. I mean, that's pretty exciting. Rare Atom. Rare Atom is a Chinese organization based in Shanghai that originally went under the name Vici Gaming, which was always seen as the second best Chinese team. Since their inception in 2012, Vici Gaming went under a lot of different names like Vici Flash Gaming, but settled on Rare Atom in 2021. Which I think is the best one because the logo is pink, and I like that. Rare Atom has been battling to become the best team in China, going up against the likes of Lynn Vision and their biggest rivals in the form of Tyloo. A heated rivalry like that, pretty exciting to root for. They picked up arguably one of the biggest prospects from China right now in the form of Chen King, and we're gonna see if he is the real deal and can bring Rare Atom to that #1 spot. Rare Atom also has two slogans, with one of them being Dream, Forge, Greatness. Whatever that means. But also, Rise from the Atom. Whatever that means. But it sounds cool. Virtus.Pro. The polar bear is a fitting symbol for this team, for they are one of the biggest organizations in all of esports, are ferocious, and are from the icy tundras that are Russia. Virtus.Pro is one of the oldest and most accomplished in all of esports. Being formed in 2003, they have won Dota 2 majors and 2 Counter-Strike majors. Which is fitting, for their name is Virtus.Pro, which means professional excellence. And also the Russian organization, now based in Armenia, is an absolute mainstay in Counter-Strike. It's in their blood. While they've had absolute legends from the Polish and Russian CS scene, they are now at the absolute rock bottom. But you could see it as buying the dip, and the only way out is up. Tyloo. The team in China. The name Tyloo is derived from the Chinese mythological creature Qianlu, which is a creature that goes out into the world looking for gold and silver. And that's exactly what Tyloo does, looking for gold trophies. And not only regional tournaments, but also have recently won an international LAN. Right now, or honestly anytime, is an exciting time to become a Tyloo fan. They have a history of having the best players from Asia represent their team, but I think right now they have the best player from China of all time in the form of Yamyung. And how can you not like their Opper G? I mean, look at him. Isn't he the greatest? If you're intrigued, check out this video if you want to learn more. Johnny Speeds. I don't know why, but the name Johnny Speeds always reminds me of condoms, and I don't know why. I think it's like a Johnny or something. I don't know. Johnny's is like a British slang for condoms, and it's, you know, I just see like speedy condoms, you know, which is not a great advertisement. Anyway, this is a brand new Swedish esports organization founded by Opper Draken. And if you know Draken, you know he played for every single top Swedish team. Literally, every single one. So who better to start an esports organization? And he knows exactly what a team needs, which is him as the Opper. That, and that you need a cool logo with some fresh colors. And they have a good eye for talent and make some fun signings with them, for example, picking up Black Crow or get the young prospect in the form of May09. And in the coaching position they also had fun players like Barbar or Freiburg now, which is just very fun. OG. Originally founded by the Danish legendary Dota 2 player who won 2 internationals in the form of No-Till. And don't worry, rooting for OG doesn't mean you get no-till. Nah, just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. Seemingly so, yes. They used to be sponsored by Red Bull, but since then that deal has expired and they're back to the green OG. The OG. And they've recently made a big gamble in the form of getting Cadian as their IGL and AWP. Cadian is a fun player with a big personality.
5-1 and he's feeling himself.
Yeah, Techno.
But also has the capacity of making teams better and get to that next level. Maybe they're against the odds, but that's their entire slogan. Metizport. First of all, can I say how cool this logo is? I like it a lot. Metizport is a rather new organization in the world of esports, with them only being founded in 2018. But they have filled the void in the Norwegian esports scene, representing Norway and Sweden. The organization was started by a small group of friends that since then have been growing day by day and now has a tier 2 Counter-Strike team. They have made their first major in 2025 and they're hoping for more success in 2026. MIBR. If you are Brazilian but you don't want to root for the best team in Brazil, or let alone a good team, MIBR got you covered. They brought back the legendary tag of MIBR from the 1.6 days. And alright, there's not much, but like their parent organization, Immortals Gaming Club, is a big organization that has teams in COD League and in Valorant, and yeah, the moment that they shift their focus back to Counter-Strike, it's gonna turn everything. They're done? Are they really? I don't know. Anyways, same thing right now. They are the 3rd to 5th best team, so if you want to root for that, go do it right now. Wildcard. If you wholeheartedly believe AI has a positive impact on humankind, Wildcard is your team. Long story short, they had a great team with up-and-coming talents and veterans that led the way, but then someone inside the organization decided to play Football Manager with the help of using ChatGPT and asked, who should I pick up? Who should I get rid of? Surprisingly enough, it went wrong. Or if you like the story of someone making a mistake, but then clawing their way all the way back to the top, then this team could also be great for you. Those were all the teams that I think you could root for today, because I think it makes the esports more fun and it makes every single game more exciting. I hope one of these teams grabbed you a little bit. Please do your own research and see if you like any of the players, and you go to the website, whatever. And if you still don't know who to be a fan of, then might I suggest you be a fan of Burlington? You know, like and subscribe and comment down below and join the Burlington's Big Shot Discord server. I hope this video helped you out a little bit, and I want to thank you for watching. My name is Burlington. I love talking about Counter-Strike, and if you do too, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.